There are few queries that are posted in the chat box, ma'am. I will read
Sure.
out the queries and you can please clarify it for the
Sure.
participants. It is by Mr. Satyan. He says that IPR over internet may also affect political governments and also bring in the concept of company law through various governments also. How would it affect people? Like Google.inc becoming or forming a government in itself. So,
No, actually, if you see it, it is already formed. Like I was saying, YouTube already has its own set of rules. It is the pioneer in most of what multimedia you get to see anywhere. So, without the YouTube rules, you wouldn't be able to. I don't think you'd be able to see any of the multimedia online because it's the exact same rules used by all the other social media as well. So they have become their own governing factors already, and uh, we're only head we're only heading to a situation where um, we give them more power, and we will not know how to get it back later. But yeah, there's no stopping it.
the next question is from Mr. Rajaswamy Aldandi. Most of dynamic IPs are allotted to IoT devices, the Internet of Things, and they are working also. So, how to get IPR on these cases?
If it falls under the copyright purview, it goes to the copyright board. If it's fall under the other purviews, it goes to those. Like protection of things over the internet to protect any IP. I think the medium stays the same, right? The way you approach it, the way you get to protection is the same. It's exactly what GB Reddy sir has said. You have to go to the particular authority and put an application.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
the
madam. Here,
Internet
by
of
Internet of Things, he means the gadgets, the devices that are there,
Oh,
which
yeah,
actually collect data through the help of sensors, and like you have your
that's it.
digital watch, which is there,
Yeah.
which collects our pulse and the steps we walk. And there are so many other devices like that. There are sensors that are placed. There is the global positioning system that is there in our mobile phones and other devices. So, how is it like in the domain of IPRs? How is it? What is and comes under IPRs, and what is personal data, or how is this legal framework?
So personal data with respect to IPR would be so if you don't choose to share that information online and yet that information is collected from you, then that would be personal data. But let's say the phone, the example you've given, if you have a smart watch, after you install it, after you put it on your phone, and I mean after you put it on your hand and you get the app on your phone, you accept terms and conditions. Most of the terms and conditions give you the exact amount of information they will be containing, like they will be collecting and retaining, and the information they are not collecting and retaining. It is a rule under the EU directive to publish all of those under the software agreement. So when you click accept on all of those agreements, you are accepting to give that data to the company that is collecting it. The phone is enough to collect your pulse, and they can use it however they want, because once they collect it, there is no way to tell what they use it for. You cannot always say there it is only supposed to be used for so and so research purpose. It's not at all easy. So yeah, it's um I don't see that. Uh, I don't see a change in it happening anytime soon, but it is a definite possibility.
The next query is from Dr. Vijay Kalyani. I was under the impression that most of the government site information and certain organizations like UNO has no copyright over its material that is placed on its website. So is it so? So the participant wants to clarify whether it is so.
Let's look at the Copyright Act of 1957 also. There is a definition of government works, right? And there is a copyright in government works. Look at the term of the copyright. So, 60 years, unless they have a different policy, certainly all the government works, all the works of international organizations are copyrightable. And most of them are now subject to Creative Commons license. If it is the individual's works which are given to the government organizations, but let us say some kind of report, etc., certainly it is copyrightable, and it is not free to be copied unless at least attribution is made. So ma'am is saying maybe in the larger public interest, the content can be downloaded or made use of. Fine, it can be made use of, but attribution, share alike, all those things will definitely come into picture.
The next question is from Mr. Mupur Prasad. And the question is how a inherent software program code can be protected. As registering of code does not occur, he presumes that, like whether the code that is there in the website, whether it can be protected, he wants a clarification.
The software can be protected. Software ki copyrights, like the software, you can ask for a copyright protection for the software. You can ask for a patent protection as well, depending on how much of analytical information it is. And see, if it is a formula where it is just an answering of a math problem, then patent is not granted for such software. But if it goes beyond solving of a math problem, then it can be protected with copyright. I mean, with patent as well.
Yes, and also the regime, it depends on the country's regime. In India, software
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
protected as copyrighted material, whereas in other countries they are patented also.
Yeah.
Next question, ma'am, from Mr. Ritvik. Could you please enlighten me on the term Creative Commons?
Oh, Creative Commons. Actually, that's one of the questions I've seen too. So, Creative Commons is, like Sir was also saying, it's kind of like a license to see, use information that is generally copyright protected. So, if some information, if a copyrighted information is put under Creative Commons, you are eligible to use it, see it, reference it, and yeah, it makes it makes the creative heads easier for us to go around and to find information around it.
The next question is from Mr. Indra Sen. How the copying of old music tunes as well as the script with modifications can be countered, as some of the melodies are literally butchered with modern music.
I understand that they're butchering really good classic tunes. The copyright issue there is the lyric, the composition, and the tune. So all of these three, if it is still protected, that is life of the author plus 60 years under the Copyright Act. If the author is alive, then it is still protected, a permission application from them, and they're allowed to use it. Without such permissions, if you're using it for the purposes of social media or publication in closed relatives, it's impossible to get that to be enforced. What you're doing is a mistake. It is an infringement because you are butchering something without the right. But there is no way to enforce it because of the very little space it is published to. So it has to be the person who is looking at at the content, and they want to report it. If they do report it, then then enforcement can happen. But otherwise, how can you? The impossibility here is enforcement. There's no way to counter it.
The next question is from Mr. Rajaswamy. So he asks, malware affects personal information, then what rights are present for the loss? Like how to get punishment for the malware company?
So if you use a link that is malware, and if you click on it and it opens up, let's say there is a shrink wrap agreement and you say agree, then there's not much we can do. But if there is no shrink wrap agreement, and by that I mean if you click and there is no agreement that says you have to, they're protected for doing so. If there is no such agreement, then if they are collecting information from you, so your right to privacy, other than that part of it constitutional, other than that, Information Technology Act also gives various methods to counter that. You could apply under Information Technology Act. If it's a lady, you can go under the women protection rights as well. The copyright, if it's an infringement of your copyright, it's some work that you've done, they've taken it and published it somewhere, you can enforce it under copyright as well. So there's no limits.
So that is the last query which you have answered. I would get back to the query that you had posed to us, madam, in the beginning of the lecture.
Yes.
Yes. So there is one comment from Daulappa Hadapar. I hope I am pronouncing it right. Please excuse me. Your IPR lecture was very good and excellent for current session in all topics. Madam, in these all IP properties like patent, copyright, trademark information was understood by me. So he says that he found copyright, trademark, and patent. And also on giving a thought, I found that I think that biodiversity, geographical indications, traditional knowledge probably are not there in the internet.
They are actually, traditional knowledge is everywhere.
Okay, so but ultimately it changes the form. Again, it comes under as a copyright when it is published over the internet.
Exactly. If it's a database, if it's a collective, it
Yes.
again falls under copyright.
And with respect to industrial designs, probably no.
Yeah, maybe industrial designs, but
So,
that's a very lucrative. Yeah, that's something I will also look into.
I hope Professor G. V. Reddy sir is there and
Yeah, if
and,
sir is here, I hope he has
can
answers.
elaborate on
No,
what
no,
cannot be covered on the internet.
No, in fact, even designs are also covered,
Yeah.
provided there is something like computer-aided designs. We have these concepts like CAD, right? And even the 3D printing, etc. In such cases, certainly internet and design law come to face, each other. So in that sense, certainly it is a subject matter of internet IPR.
Okay, sir. So can we conclude, sir, that biodiversity, geographical indications, they are not there on the internet?
In fact, you see, bioinformatics. Now this is one important area. Bioinformatics is one area where these two, internet as well as biotechnology, are fused, combined together. Same is the case with designs. In fact, there is no area of intellectual property rights untouched by the internet, including the GIs and all. Right? When you are talking about manufactured goods, so again, if it is something relating to, let us say, computers or computer, related inventions, so on and so forth, somewhere certainly, in fact, the interface can be witnessed. But these are the emerging areas, and I think Ms. Sai Bhavana has covered all of them very well. She spread the canvas very wide, as Dr. Irfan said. In fact, inform all our attendees here that she was given only 2 days time, and in the within the shortest period of time, she has done an excellent job. And this is only the first of our lectures. We are going to have many more.